take a moment here and welcome a very special guest who I think has some pretty incredible news. The president and CEO of Watermark is online. Watermark is one of Lowell's growing businesses and has yet all of a sudden been the recipient of yet another award in business. Mr. John Haley, welcome to the JMac and the Bear Show.
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good, sir. Very good, sir. So you've got some news to share with us.
Yeah, we were recently selected by the U.S. Small Business Administration as New England's Small Business Prime Contractor of the Year, which means there's 10 regions in the United States, and we are one of 10 for the actual national award that will be announced in Washington, D.C. in May.
That's incredible. Congratulations, John. This award from the SBA. This is not the first award that Watermark has received over the years. I've noticed you've received a lot of other awards. Could you tell us a little bit about those? I noticed you were a Boston Business Journal Pace Setters recently, and you're also one of the fastest growing private companies in the United States, rated by Inc. magazine. I mean, you've got an incredible business, and I think people in Lowell would like to learn more about it. Tell us about it.
Well, we're kind of somewhat of a unique small businesses where we do a lot of our work outside the actual Lowell area. We do a lot of work for the federal government, the Army, Navy, Air Force, National Park Service, General Service Administration. So we do a lot of federal work outside the area. But we also do a lot of work for municipalities like the City of Lowell, state government like Mass DEP, and also some select private institutions in universities and schoolwork. But we primarily, what we do is we actually provide a lot of various solutions to our various clients, anything from upfront architectural engineering type work right through to general contracting and operations and maintenance type work for anything from new buildings, existing buildings, renovations. We also do environmental work. We actually started the business primarily focused on environmental work, and now, based on our annual revenue, which was approximately $28 million last year, the portion that is environmental is probably only about 20% of our business at this point.
Yep. Well, that's interesting, John, and I got to tell you, it's one of these companies that I feel need to get more and more recognized. You're making Lowell proud. As a matter of fact, sitting here, believe it or not, one of your former teachers is sitting here, and I can see the pride busting out of his chest. Mr. Byrne, why don't you say hello to John Haley?
How are you, sir?
Hi, Mr. Byrne. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm sure your background in history at the Butler School is the cause of all of this.
Oh, yes. I remember those days you hit my fingers with the ruler.
Occasionally, right? You could do that then, right?
Exactly.
Well, apparently it paid off, John, because you're extremely successful, and you're doing a great job here in the city. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we let you go?
Nope. We do have a couple large contracts we won this week that I can't really let out until actually the client announces them, but you'll see something in the local media in the next couple of weeks about one of them is over $25 million that we recently won. So,
well, congratulations.
It's a good thing, and we hope to add another 15, 30 people in the next year to our staff here in Lowell and some of our other offices also.
Well, that's fantastic.
John, would you like to hire another former teacher? I could do something.
Without the ruler.
I could be the enforcer.
There you go. Well, there will be no rulers allowed. Ladies and gentlemen, we were proud to have had the president and CEO of Watermark, Mr. John Haley. John, thank you for joining us here on the JMac and the Bear Show. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I think that leads us into our first break and gives me an opportunity to thank our sponsors, Pentucket Medical Associates, located at Riverwalk Properties, Elite Body Therapy and Salon Nicole, Center Ice Pub, and again, Coffee Can Cafe and the Merrimack Street Convenience Store. Tune in for the next half hour of the Jay Mackin Show, coming along soon. Thank you.
Merrimack Street Convenience, your one-stop shop for North Lowell. Welcome to the best hour in radio, the JMac and the Bear Show. I'm George Zaharoulis the Bear and my co-host, John McDonald. With us is Stacy the Radio Goddess and our good friend, Tommy Burns. John?
Well, I thought I was John McDonald Opolopoulos today anyway. I wore my Greek blue.
Oh.
I'm all set for special, circumstances here. Am I not being accepted into the Greek festivities this weekend?
Are you coming?
I might.
Maybe if there's
Well,
Uzo.
before we introduce our new guest, I do have to mention one thing. I want to call attention to all our JMac and the Bear listeners that the second floor of the new retail building at Riverwalk Properties is being poured today, and we are pre-leasing both retail and office space now, so please give me a call at 978-681-7777 and get a spot at Riverwalk Properties today, one of the most progressive and innovative workplaces in all of Massachusetts, and it's right here at the in the Merrimack Valley for your business. Call me at 978-681-7777. Next, we have Lowell's own wine aficionado and also a regular contributor to the JMac and the Bear Show with the Editor's View, one of our favorites, editor of all at the Lowell Sun, Mr. Jim Campanini. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Gee, John, with salutations like that, you're cutting into my time. On the show, so you can just,
I'll keep it shorter next time, I promise.
Jim Campanini, that's fine.
Well, hey, we're big on introductions here, if anything else.
Good. Now, George, were you shocked to see that I reviewed your bottle of wine?
Yes, and I want to thank you very much for mentioning my name, and I think that it was very generous of you to do that. And by the way,
it was. I told you I'd get around to it, and then I had lunch the other day at the Athenian Corner, and I saw that they were. They had on the table a promotion for the bottle. I said, "Gee," I says, "I've got a bottle of that." I said, "I got to try it." So that night, my wife and I sat down, and I said, "We're going to try this wine," and we tasted it. It was very, very enjoyable, intriguing, and I liked it instantly. So it was, and then I did some research on it and found out, because I thought, gee, this bottle must cost about $25, and I was very, very happy to find out it was in the $10 to $12 range. So.
Yeah. Well, you can purchase that at Billerica Liquors. They have a wide selection of Greek wines, and there's several different brands of that wine.
Right. Yeah, I did some. I saw that the Savatiano grape, which is indigenous to Greece, is one of a fine white Greek wine varietal, and that Wine Enthusiast had rated it. So I gave it a high rating of 89. So that's pretty good.
That's very good. That's outstanding. And what I like about it the best is the fact that it sounds like it's cheap.
Yeah. Well, it's a bargain. It's a value, and I think
tastes good.
Reasonable.
I'm sorry. It's reasonable. Okay.
It's a drinking wine. It's a good drinking wine, something that can complement a great family meal. So, and I think that all the Greeks should be drinking it over the weekend as they celebrate Independence Day.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Hey, Jim. So tell us what's going on this weekend. What are we going to read about in the Lowell Sun?
Well, on Sunday, Chris Kamir from our State House Bureau, he's looking into a story how some of our federal lawmakers, how they, through the years, have been able to get their relatives on the federal payroll. Oh, gee, well, this is shocking, huh? Yeah. But the big thing here is the benefits that these people have accrued through the years. And once again, for all the transparency that everybody says that they have in government, I think people will be shocked to realize how some of these lawmakers have been more successful than others in putting almost entire families on the public payroll, and much to the chagrin of other people who probably have applied for these jobs and stuff. So
and realizing they never ever had a shot, more than likely.
Right. So it'll be, I think it'll be interesting reading for some of our people. And once again, it's not that they've done anything wrong, but it comes down to that, here's another nationwide search that goes to someone we know so well,
Exactly,
And
you find out the guys working in the next office are living in your bedroom.
Well, I mean, I hate to point fingers, but when you look at our delegation to the federal government, they've basically been only from one party through the years. So I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but aren't these the people who talk about government reform all the time and doing something? So it's just it's everywhere. It's in both parties, but we just happen to be dominated by one party, and I think people will say, well, how can you say one thing and then do another? But that's for the people to decide. So and then we've got another look at some of the local elections that are going on. They're going on in Westford. There'll be a big town meeting, and I know you saw the package today that was in today's paper about Vicksburg Square.
Yeah,
and that's very interesting. Only because this is Trinity Financial, which is doing the Hamilton Canal District. They put a pretty good proposal for the Devon's base, and this would create housing out of idle barracks that have been idle for years. And 90% of this housing will go for military retirees and active military. Okay, now just think about it. We've got 100,000 soldiers returning over the next 2 years from Afghanistan and Iraq and overseas bases, and 3 towns are going to decide this project: Aya, Shirley, and Harvard. Mm-hmm. And the resistance is building because some of these people in these towns are saying, well, we don't want affordable housing because that might bring in subsidized housing. Now it is so over the top, but to think that here we are talking about the people who have sacrificed for our country and our freedoms, and there's only going to be, there's going to be 274 units. Yep. Okay, these rents are going to be based on their income. I mean, when do we acknowledge the fact that these are people who have sacrificed, and they're people who have had jobs and have done things. I mean, I just can't see where all this resistance is. It's like that's where you got to build it in other communities, but you can't build it in ours. And
again, you're talking about United States,
community on its own. So I just don't understand the resistance. But
again, you're talking about United States servicemen and women who are in need. Okay, they're not making a tremendous dollar, so they need this type of housing, and I think I would look at it as a great opportunity for a community to kind of band together and offer those men and women who have served us quite well, some housing.
And the big concern, and it's a legitimate. Some are saying, well, it's going to tax our school systems because right now Devon's doesn't have a school system, and they send their school children to Harvard and Aya, the regional schools there, and the people are saying, well, it's going to increase the public cost. But I say, wait a minute, you know what? No matter anybody who comes into your community, I mean, we want people, we want to grow. This is a Massachusetts problem. Right. Housing is a Massachusetts problem. And if we keep putting up resistance to saying, no, we don't want it here, well, I mean, Lowell has done its job, and some other communities have done their job. What about the suburbs? I mean, I think they have to join in and help out. But hey, I don't mind paying a few extra dollars to say for a serviceman's family to move into my community. I think that's an honor that they would consider moving into my community. And you know what? Everything equalizes in the wash, because hopefully the people who do have family, they will get jobs and they will contribute to that community and pay taxes or go to the local stores or the restaurants and stuff.
I 100% agree. agree,
just
Jim.
find
Yep.
it's totally to me it's hard to understand how some of these people think, and how are some of these servicemen and women going to get ahead if they don't get adequate housing and something that's affordable while they try to find out what they're going to do. Some of these people are going to have to go back to school and be retrained.
Yeah. I have an idea. How about we divert some of that federal money that's going to be used for trolleys that are going to go nowhere in Lowell, and we actually allocate it down there to the veterans? Doesn't that make some sense? I don't know, George, Tommy, come on. Come on. All right, well, hey, we got a small minority here anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to now get into the trolley issue. I can see where your point is. I've heard people argue that case on both sides. Yeah. I think in some aspects it might be really good for the downtown, and other things. Sometimes I just see folly in it when there are so many pressing issues in downtown Lowell that has to be corrected.
Right, and that's the point.
At the same time, you try to continue to make progress and to look into the future. But certainly, $5 million for a trolley system. There's a lot of streets that have not been resurfaced in years, and there's businesses who could use some help downtown. I don't know who the trolley is going to bring into the downtown when you have a trolley and no one, basically rides it now. So I don't know.
George,
that's my
to your point.
opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And George, to your point, you got Bridge Street.
We
mentioned this. Yeah, we mentioned.